Good morning, it's Maria, and I am going to respond to this email that I received, as well as a comment that was posted on my email account, on my YouTube account. This person's name is Marcus, and Marcus MC, and I wanted to respond to this person through YouTube instead of using my email account to respond to them. And I'll be as vague as I can. I'm not going to, you know, go too much into it. So, I mean, I'm not going to try to jeopardize your identity, so I'm going by the initials that you gave me. Anyway, he stated that you are a so-called targeted individual. A targeted individual is indeed something that is not a conspiracy theory. A targeted individual is an actual person who has been targeted unfairly, illegally, and unnecessarily for reasons that usually pertain to things that are not that are their right, okay? But you're usually, somebody has like a general disagreement with the person. In this case, for example, I have been blacklisted. I have been, my employment has been manipulated through certain sources, and the reasons why it has been manipulated are all illegal reasons. So for some people, they get blacklisted because of race. Some people get blacklisted because of religion. Some people get blacklisted for marital status. You know, and I guess in my case, it's probably all of these apply or whatever. But so when you call it so-called targeted individual, I get concerned because it kind of tells me that you're not really, or makes me feel as though you're not really, because a targeted individual knows that this is not a conspiracy theory, and they would not use that term. They would definitely refer to themselves as a targeted individual. You know, I'm open to receiving correspondences from people who are indeed legit, and I'm not trying to, you know, discredit you in any way. It's just that, you know, sometimes I read between the lines in what people write. Please don't be offended, but, you know, you have to be very careful when it comes to screening people when they contact you, because there's a lot of perps that just want to, you know, stir up more problems. But when you want to talk about experiencing as a targeted individual, basically you are shut out of employment, or people are reluctant to work with you because there is an informal blacklist, okay? An informal blacklist could be, for example, one agency emailing another agency saying, don't help this person get a job, something along those lines, and they usually give the reasons because they don't like you for whatever reason. There is no reason for this to happen to me. So in your case, I mean, I don't know, you could very well be a legitimate targeted individual. I don't know you, never spoken to you, never, you know, had any conversation with you other than the little email and the messages that you sent. But yeah, it is basically being subjected to uncivilized and inhumane acts, because it is inhumane when somebody treats you like the other or holds you at a standard differently than everyone else, especially when there are established employment laws that are supposed to prevent that. So, for example, in my case, you know, being tested multiple times or having certain positions and then being offered less when it's obvious that I'm not supposed to be in that situation, or you know, having other people choose your job for you. These sort of things are illegal, okay, and they are inhumane because it's dehumanizing to an individual, and it's uncivil because obviously for the same reasons, okay. So these are the things that many targeted individuals are subjected to. Basically losing your rights and having kangaroo courts, meaning people outside of the court system decide your fate. Oftentimes that is like members of your own flesh and blood, like your family. In my case, I suspect it was my soon-to-be ex-husband, his family, his aunt, who is a head of a organization, a religious organization. I believe you said you're from Arizona. You may have heard of them or not. I don't know. I don't know the name of her organization, never paid any attention to it. I just know that she runs a church and she seems to have a lot of clout, even here in Bakersfield, because she originated here. So, you know, she probably believes erroneously that her religion, her distorted view of her religion, gives her some sort of entitlement, and that anybody who doesn't believe the way that she does, which is corrupt, that they're supposed to be demoted or whatever, or she could have tried to demote me based on reasons as well. Who knows? Okay, just because you're a Christian doesn't mean you're not a racist or somebody who behaves that way, But for whatever the case is, that is my story. So if you can relate, I'm not saying you cannot contact me again. I'm just saying is I would need a little bit more information about your experience before I can actually develop a dialogue with you. Because obviously, there's ways that you can tell if a person is a targeted individual, and I get a little uneasy when you refer to them as so-called targeted individuals. Because believe me, targeted individuals are not a conspiracy, okay? Targeted individuals are created because there's an administrative corruption, meaning so there's somebody usually pulling the strings and, starting the ball on illegal employment practices, which they're not supposed to ever participate in. So in my case, this is 100% wrong, and, that's why I'm speaking out against it. So my goal right now is to, just try to talk about it and hopefully break through and hopefully see some improvements. And once I get myself together, which is, it's very traumatizing. Like I got up this morning and wanted to start on my job search, and then all of a sudden my mood plummeted, and then I'm right back to where I was before. So this is a very traumatizing program to go through. It is one that literally destroys your life from the inside out. It takes away a support system, meaning that because they gather up everybody that you know, they basically leave you all by yourself. Okay, it's a form of control. So in this case, because it's religious based, it's a cult based. It's a cult. I believe she's a member of a cult. Because I know that typically this woman speaks against Catholics, but yet there are Catholic people participating in this. And there's other religious denominations that probably don't really coincide with what she has been taught, but she's willing to band forces just to shut me out of employment. And I'm sure if that might be the case with you, you could very well be one of her, if you're from Arizona, you could very well be one of her targeted individuals. Who knows, okay? I'm just throwing that out there because it's a possibility. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video, and if you want to give me more information on your personal experience, you can send that via email, but I'm going to be very careful and try to read between the lines when it comes to anybody who contacts me. I did initially send out that email because I'm looking to have contact with targeted individuals in California. You said you're from Arizona, but I know you contacted me multiple times, and I didn't want you to think that I was being inconsiderate, and I wanted to show you that I'm not like that. But it does kind of concern me that you refer to it as a so-called targeted individual, because anybody who's a part of this program knows that it's not something that's in your head. It's not something that is you put quotations. It would be nice to correspond and talk with you regarding our experiences with being, and then you put quotation marks. Okay, those quotation marks mean something. Like your quote target individuals. If for example a perp, okay, like for example you may be one of my old family members or something, they may not look at it as a targeted individual. They just look at themselves as part of my family, and they might think that they have some weird right to do what they did, and because they just have a hard time accepting the fact that I have rights of my own, I'm an adult person, they have no right to throw any of their opinions in the mix, that they don't think that look at me as a targeted individual. Their foolish behavior makes you a targeted individual, okay? It throws your identity out there to the public, whereas you never wanted to. I've never wanted to be like well known, okay? I always wanted to have a very peaceful life. But by doing this, it creates attention, and then now you are a targeted individual, okay? Now you got people wanting to hurt you and do all kinds of stuff to you. So, whoever you are, you could very well be one of my blood relations, and you could just be pretending. Or you could be even worse. You could be one of Piggy's relations, okay, which I don't have anything to do with you. And if you are indeed Esther Gooding, please take me off your blacklist, because I don't believe in your religion. I will never support your religion. You have no right to have any say-so into anything that I think, do, or say. I'm going to basically kick him to the curb eventually. I don't know how long it's going to be until I find another job, but eventually it will be over. And whether it's over now or later, legally you have no right for control if you are indeed Esther Gooding. So I'm just going to cover that basis because you did say you're from Arizona, and those quotations on that targeted individual thing just makes me kind of look at it a little bit closer. So I'm going to end this, and please don't take offense to it. I have to be protective of myself because I can't just let people in my life, and I have to be very careful. So please don't take offense to this. If you are truly a targeted individual, you will understand 100% why I have to screen people, because there's just so many people out there that are trying to work against your well-being. And I don't believe that this particular lady, Esther Gooding, is interested in creating an America or a country or a community that is superior or in moral standards or anything like that. I mean, that would be typically why somebody would want to force somebody into a Christian or any sort of belief system, because they feel as though they have some sort of moral standards or beliefs that makes their life better, maybe more life enhancing, okay? In this case, I don't think so, because we're dealing with incest, we're dealing with people who trap people against their will, we're dealing with people who have adult children who basically mind manipulate them, and in those cases, you can't convince me that these people are of any value or that anybody would want to follow their footsteps. So I'm going to wrap this video up. This is just my personal situation. If you would like to share your situation, how you believe that you got entered into this program, then we can follow up with that dialogue. But you can go ahead and disclose that information in a private email to me. I will not go any further into the conversation with you. Okay, meaning I will not put it out on YouTube. Okay, I'm just putting it out on YouTube because I was reluctant to actually put in any more writing into this particular email page, because the first letter that you sent me, it looked like it could be like spam or something weird like that, and I don't want my email account compromised or anything like that, so I'm just kind of taking my chances. I'm very careful about stuff like that. I don't know exactly how that stuff works, but I have to take as many precautions as I can, okay, because I'm all alone in this world. So once again, I will be wrapping this video up. I have no intentions of communicating or having anything to do with my side of the family or his side of the family. And like I said, if you are Esther Gooding and you're just fishing and trying to look for reasons or whatever, please do not contact me again. Just do what you have to do to erase your mess up. I don't know you. You have no right to have any control over my life. I don't care if it's very creepy what somebody would actually do this. It's crazy, but I don't have anything to do with you. So if you are indeed Marcus MC, like I said, if you really feel as though you're a targeted individual, please add more dialogue and let me know how you feel as though you got into this program. And then I'm going to wrap this video up. Have a wonderful day.